Whoop. All right. All right, everyone. Welcome to the June 4th, 2026 meeting of Queens Community Board 2. If you'd like, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome, thank you so much. We luckily have a light-ish agenda. I want to keep it that way. Let's try to get out of here by 9. And again, the wait rule still applies. WAIT, why am I talking? Especially if it's saving us precious time. So without further ado, let's get into comments by representatives of public officials, because I don't see any public officials. So we'll start with Evelyn from Representative Meng's office, and then Mercedes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to be back. Good to see all the old and new faces. I'm Evelyn Liam from Congressman Graceman's office. Good to see everyone before summer. I just, on behalf of the Congresswoman, I just want to share a few updates from Washington and here in our district. Well, first, we are very looking forward to recognizing the class of 2026 at our annual graduation celebration on June 27. Any student who is in or attends school in the district is welcome to participate, and then we do want people to RSVP. I have flyers over there, and then with RSVP QR code, and of course I'm sitting over there, so if you have any questions, let me know what this is about and whatsoever. And in Washington, D.C., the Congresswoman has continued to working on issues that directly affect our families in Queens. She recently reintroduced legislation to expand SNAP so recipients can use benefits for hot prepared food, making the program more practical for working families, seniors, and others who may not be able to cook at home. And she is also continuing to advocate for affordable health care by supporting the extension of ACA, Affordable Care Act tax credit, so helping keeping the coverage within reach for many families. And the Congresswoman continues to stand with the Queens immigrants, families, and communities. She has been outspoken about ISIS activity in New York and across the country, and has introduced legislation to increase transparency and accountability for ICE agents, and remains committed to ensuring that all individuals are treated fairly and humanly under the law. So as always, if anyone needs assistance from our office, we're always here, and our number, and I have my emails over here, and then just see if any questions. All right, 2 minutes. Thank you.
Mercedes from Senator Gennaro's office.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me once again. Mercedes Jennings from State Senator Mike Gennaro's office. I'm going to try my best to stay within the 2 minutes because I do have quite a few updates as considered last week. Finally, Wednesday, May 27th, the state finally passed its budgets. Yes. A record-breaking budget in New York State history, $269 billion was passed. The following things are highlights that were passed within the budget, the general budget. One was utilities relief, $1 billion to help families struggling with utility bills. As you know, the Con Ed, for example, has raised rates. So New York State wanted to make sure that our pockets doesn't get too impacted by that. Anyone who is single that files that makes $150K or less will get a $100 rebate. Joint filers, $150K or lower, $200 rebate. Also, childcare and education expansion. The budget expanded access to childcare programs and provides the ability to increase the availability of the number of universal pre-K programs. You know, that'll definitely be a great asset to our district. We don't have enough universal pre-K programs here. And it also gives the ability to increase the income eligibility cap for people to apply for affordable housing. Again, that will definitely positively impact Astoria, Long Island City, Sunnyside, Woodside, our district, Maspeth in general. So I just wanted to make sure that's informed. Also, just want to make quick budget highlights that the senator made sure to dedicate within the legislative budget. He dedicated $1 million to United Way for preventive care programs, and that basically will impact vaccines, mental wellness, access to fresh foods in pantries, and exercise and maternal care programs. And that will at least impact 14 programs in our district. He also provided $600,000 to Make the Road New York, which basically dramatically and directly impacts immigration families within our district. And lastly, he dedicated $500,000 to Woodside on the Move, and we already know all the services that they do provide to our districts. So I just wanted to let you know of those specific highlights. And he also made a lot of financial contributions to make sure that programs, especially immigration programs and programs that helps people become citizens, and English-speaking programs, like for those who want to learn English, adults especially, have been funded by the senator specifically in our district. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. Are there any questions? Yes? Oh, whoever. Oh, yeah. Hi, Deborah, how are you?
Hello, great on the budget, very happy.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the immigration policy that passed, sort of stopping ICE, or, because I know some of that was in the budget?
Say that one more time?
The immigration policy that was passed?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
So let me go back. Okay, so the immigration policy is specific to the amount of funding that he gave. So there was one specific organization that he made sure was funded through the legislative budget, and that was Make the Road New York. Make the Road New York specifically funds working family, immigration families in Brooklyn, Staten Island, and Queens. The Queens areas that are mostly impacted by that funding is Maspeth, Middle Village, Ridgewood, Woodside, and Sunnyside.
And is that to help families, which is great,
Oh,
but
yeah.
what
I'm
about,
sorry,
what
yeah.
about like fighting back
Yes.
against ICE or
So,
protecting our
one of
immigrant
the
neighbors?
things is, and one of the great things that was passed in the state budget, thank you for mentioning that, and the legislation that was passed this week, actually, record-breaking number of legislations he was passing every day this week, because this was the last week of session, just to let everyone know that. One of the things that was passed is that ICE cannot just go into certain areas, they cannot go into certain businesses, they cannot infringe on people's rights, they cannot hang out across the street from schools like they've been doing, so things like that are completely, like, those who fall under that are completely protected. And this particular agency provides assistance with attorney's fees, connects them to services, housing, education, connects their children to getting them resources and services, food pantries, possibly any possible service that anyone within the immigration area needs, especially when it comes to education, if they want like adult education when it comes to learning English, as well as like if they are in the process of trying to get their visa, or if, you know, they're in the process of in refugee process, they help them with that as well, anything related to that legally. Questions? Okay. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mercedes. Next is Isamar from yep, hi, from Senator Kristen Gonzalez's office.
Hi, everyone. I'm Isamar. I actually don't think I've been able to speak here yet, so just introducing myself. So the fiscal year 26 to 27 New York State budget passed Wednesday, May 27th. It's the latest state budget in over 10 years. The senator has included sustainability funding for Western Queens, immigration rights for families, and an increase in funding to put young people in the state first. The senator advocated investments in climate resiliency and green energy, including $100 million in public renewables, $50 million for sustainability and NYCHA developments, $4 million for Rainy Park waterfront resiliency, and $1 million for the Queens Greenway. Next, as New Yorkers prepare to cheer on their teams in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Senator Gonzalez invites our neighbors to join these festivities all over the city. Beginning June 11th, the city is launching the NYC Neighborhood Passport, a scavenger hunt spanning hundreds of community organizations and public events across our district and the greater 5 boroughs. Participants will be able to collect artist-designed stamps while also sharing stories about what the World Cup means to them as part of a nationwide storytelling initiative. And finally, as temperatures heat up this summer, note that our office is an official cooling center during heat emergency days, Tuesdays through Thursdays, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Stop by for resources, assistance, and cool air at 801 2nd Avenue, Suite 303 in Manhattan. And as always, please contact us with whatever issues you may be having, especially regarding state agencies. Our number is 718-765-6674. And if you have any further questions, you can approach me later. Okay, thank you.
Any questions? No? You're off the hook, and welcome. Okay, next is Farah from Council Member One's office.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful start to the month. Let's start off with the fun stuff. We'll switch it up a little bit. So we're hosting several movie nights in the district, and we have a variety of movies from family-friendly ones to some that are major blockbusters. So upcoming on Saturday, we'll be screening Zootopia 2 at 8:30 p.m. at Dutch Kills Park, so that would be on the 6th. Next week, we are showing Hamilton after Sunny Pride, so once you're done with Sunny Pride, move on over to Murray Park to watch Hamilton at 8:30 p.m., and then Wicked for Good on June 20th at Hunters Point, and Superman at Windmiller at 8:30 p.m. on June 27th. We're also giving away free bike helmets at Hunters Point Park South on Saturday, June 13th. Between 11 and 3, come and get fitted for a beautiful lime green DOT helmet. Going on to budget updates. So we're encouraging people to come out on June 10th at 9:30 a.m. to the executive budget public hearing to advocate for several key funding projects, which for our office that we've kind of identified means $206 million for parks that are delayed, restore parks funding to 1% of the city budget. Schools funding, there's $519 million missing to build 2 new elementary schools and 1 middle school in Long Island City, and $10 million citywide for infant and toddler childcare seats. And then DOT daylighting program, we're asking for the council to provide, or for the admin to provide us with $15 million for daylighting, hardened daylighting, and $1.5 million for street safety improvements in Long Island City. And then join us on Wednesday, June 17th for the One LIC Task Force public meeting at CUNY School of Law from 6 to 8 p.m. Pratt Center will share more information. Paula from the Pratt Center will share more information on that. On May 20th, the last stated, Councilmember One introduced Introduction 919, a bill to establish an Office of Artificial Intelligence Oversight within the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. This bill would give New York City the dedicated infrastructure needed to hold bad accounters accountable, those who use AI to replace people's jobs or anything like that, and protect consumers in making sure that as technology changes, we have the same accountability structures in place to keep people and employees protected. On June 1st, SNAP changes went into effect for work requirements. So that just means if you or anyone you know is on SNAP, to make sure that they have the necessary requirements in place to maintain their SNAP benefits. Over the last week, we hosted 2 street co-namings, one for Alexander M. Bing Place to honor the legacy of the person who started and founded Sunnyside Gardens, as well as LaGuardia Community College Way, to honor the college for all of the things that they've done. And we're having a press conference to commemorate Autistic Pride Day, which is celebrated on June 18th. Councilmember One will be introducing a resolution to declare this an official holiday in New York City at the next stated on June 11th. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Maury.
Maury, Mike's behind you. Great.
Hello, thank you. Maury Gallinoy here. I just wanted to mention, when you talked about the Office of AI, I heard from the group that you're familiar with, probably stopspying.org. They had a lot of concerns about this proposed legislation, and I wanted to find out if you had heard from them yet, because I think they were going to be reaching out to your office, and they had...
We haven't actually, I don't think they've reached out to us. I checked all of our inboxes and I haven't seen anything yet.
Maybe they haven't formed it yet, but there were a lot of concerns that maybe it was a redundancy and maybe there's not enough teeth in this legislation.
Okay.
And so I hope you can engage with them, because they're an amazing organization that's been spearheading legislation all over the state and the city to prevent surveillance. And I think we should all be listening to their advice, and I hope you can take that back.
Yeah, we would love to hear from them. I think when they do reach out to us, because we did work with them on other pieces of legislation, and so we would love to hear from them and see what their concerns are.
All right, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Kevin?
Hi, just a quick question. Is the one LIC oversight meeting on the 17th, will that be recorded and available to the public?
That, yes, it will be.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Board members online, any questions? All right, get off the hook.
Oh. Have a wonderful summer, everyone.
Carlos from Assembly Member Valdez's office.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Carlos. I'm the district director at Assemblymember Claire Valdez's office. Not that many updates, mostly district updates. We attended PS11's Career Day last month on the 15th. I went there and it was really fun talking to the fifth graders. They have very interesting questions and they're very civically active, so that was surprising. We tabled at the LIC Spring Festival this Saturday, got to meet a few constituents. We also attended the Alexander Bing Street renaming, which is right across from Sunnyside Gardens. And then we're hosting our electronic recycling event this Saturday from 10 to 2 right outside Sunnyside Community Services. And they're also looking for textiles, so old clothes, blankets, towels. That's pretty much it for our office. If there's any questions. Oh, and yeah, like my colleague said before, the budget passed, so we're thankful that happened.
Thanks, Carlos. Laura from Borough Hall, sorry, from the Borough President's office.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Shepard, happy to be here on behalf of Queens Borough President Donovan Richards Jr. We have a busy season at Borough Hall with several office initiatives. On June 24th, we're hosting our annual Pride celebration in the atrium at 6 p.m. We hope you may join us and our partners in the LGBTQ+ community in acknowledging the work to ensure our neighbors can express themselves and their identity free from harm. We are also having our Constituent Services Unit hosting mobile office hours twice later this month. If you want to connect with our office or are in need of government assistance, come meet our team and we can discuss how to help. We'll be at the Briarwood Library, 8512 Main Street, Monday, June 15th from 12 to 2 p.m. We'll also be at the Windsor Park Library, 7950 Bell Boulevard in Bayside, Monday, June 29th from 12 to 2 p.m. You may RSVP to any of these events by visiting queensbp.nyc.gov. If you have any general questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to our office. You may always call our office at 718-286-3000, or you can email me directly at lshepard@queensbp.nyc.gov, and I have cards over there. And also, as your neighbor, I just want to acknowledge the fatal crash on the Queensboro Bridge last week. It's obviously very distressing, and there is a lot we have to do to address this so that it doesn't happen again. Feel free to reach out if you have any thoughts or want to discuss it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Jackie, did you have?
Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with you tonight. I'm Jackie here with the Queens District Attorney's Office. We just have a few updates from the top. First, I'd like to highlight the Queens DA's monthly newsletter, highlighting some prominent cases of interest and office updates. I placed the flyers in the front. Please feel free to grab a copy if you have not yet done so. Finally, I know my time is limited, so I wanted to highlight key resources for what I know remains to be a pretty serious ongoing concern for many, and that is the proliferation of scams and frauds, particularly the financial exploitation of seniors and that increasing trend that we are witnessing across the borough, across the city, across the state, and across the nation. That is why our Financial Frauds Bureau focuses on financial-based crimes, including high-value investment scams, bank and credit card fraud, elder fraud, and cybercrime. The Bureau is at the forefront of community-based initiatives, routinely hosting public presentations to both educate and equip those who are vulnerable to financial threats with the tips necessary to preventing victimization. For more information, we encourage anyone who may be a victim of a financial crime or anyone interested in more information to reach out to the Bureau directly. The email is frauds@queensda.org or call 718-286-6673. I also wanted to take this opportunity to highlight that we also have an elder fraud unit dedicated exclusively to safeguarding the elderly community from financial crimes, scams, and any financial exploitation schemes. Their contact information is elderfraud@queensda.org, and their number is 718-286-6578. We really need your help to get this information out to members of the community, and we really look forward to continuously spreading these resources across the borough. So if anyone has any ideas or suggestions, we are continuously out in the community. We're hosting public presentations, and we would love to get this information to those who need it. And finally, I just want to say I'm really grateful to be here, and I want to wish everyone a very safe and happy summer.
Questions? Nope, you're off the hook, and welcome. And last but not least, David Espinosa from this fine institution.
Thanks, Senator. We always save the best for last. Just kidding. Hi, everyone. I have three announcements this evening, three terrific coming events. The first one, Carlos from AM Valdez's office beat me to it, the community recycling event this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be hosting it right in front of our building here, so all are welcome to come bring their electronics and textiles. Just add a little bit more for you, for everyone else. And secondly, we're going to host a candidate forum on Monday, June 8th, for the New York State Senate 12th District Democratic primary. That's from 6:30, and if you do want to attend in person, please note that you do have to sign up, and we'll have that information on our website. I'm also going to leave some flyers in the last table here, the round table, in the rear, so folks can pick that up on their way out. And lastly, we do have another terrific, wonderful event on Sunday, June 7th. We're inviting everyone here and in the community to join us for Sunnyside's annual Queens Pride Parade, and that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us. This year's theme, if some of you don't know, is the Disco Rodeo. And our bus will reflect that theme. So we encourage you to come and join us and take a look at it and march with us all. Thank you. And we've got to replace this one, and we will. We're going to replace this. This is not, not.
No worries.
Take care.
Thank you, David. DCP, Figler.
Hello, everyone. I have a pretty short DCP update this month. So on Monday, 5002 Queens Boulevard rezoning was certified by the City Planning Commission, and it's now in public review. As this was certified on June 1st, the Community Board will have 90 days to review, and the CB vote and recommendation are due on September 8th. On Wednesday, the CPC held a public hearing for the Queens CB2 Walk to Park site selection and acquisition application. The CPC is scheduled to vote on this application on July 13th. If you were not able to attend the public hearing and wish to provide comments to inform the City Planning Commission's determination on this application, you can submit written comments via an online form before 11:59 on July 6th or by mail up until the day of the vote. To learn more about this, you can access it on the DCP's website Participate and Comment page. Two projects are likely to certify while this board is on summer recess, and I'll work with the Land Use Committee to ensure that the CV review runs smoothly in the fall. And otherwise, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful summer recess, guys. Any questions?
Sorry, can you repeat the second thing, the second announcement about the walk to parks? There was an application process at the site?
No. So the Walk to Parks application is an active ULURP application right now, and after the community board and the borough president voted on it, it went back to the City Planning Commission for 30 days to review. So they had a public hearing about this application on June 3rd, and they're voting on July 13th to approve it, disapprove it, add conditions. CPC is voting, yeah. But written comments, if you wish to testify and weren't able to, you can submit them up until the vote.
Okay, and then any update on the certification?
Any update on the certification of the site on Greenpoint Avenue?
Yeah, that's currently scheduled to certify on June 15th.
June 15th?
Yeah, and I'm not sure, but the applicant team should be working with the Land Use Committee to come either in the last Land Use Committee meeting before the summer recess or the first one in the fall.
Yeah, I think we have them scheduled. I think they're coming to this month. Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? All right, have a great break.
Okay, so that concludes the comments from representatives of public officials and offices and our DCP regular update. Before we move to the next item, I just want to take a few minutes and recognize an outgoing board member who was so dedicated that you showed up today as well, right after your flight back from France. Benji Lucas, please a round of applause for him. You've been a tremendous help, and merci, mon frère. Thank you for everything. All right, now we'll move to general public comment, starting with those in the room. Mr. Corman, Doug Corman, are you here? Yeah, please come up here, and you have 2 minutes. Yep.
Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to talk to you tonight very briefly. I designed a park that I made a proposal for, and it's quite elaborate, and I think that the situation calls for that. The Blissfield community has long wanted a park, and we have the space to have a park, and it's a special space because it's waterfront property. And it's owned by the city. The state owns the highway. They're getting ready to completely rehabilitate the stretch of highway. They've already begun chopping up above to fix a water leak problem that comes through the highway that's degraded it. And the federal Superfund is going to clean the creek. So we're going to have a brand new, fresh, clean canvas to create the most dynamic park that's ever been built in Queens, or New York City for that matter. When you look at my proposal, which is available to all of you, if you will simply send an email to info@dutchkillspark.org. I handed out paperwork, it's on there, and I will send you a Dropbox link so you can see the full proposal, which is being prepared for the meeting with the Environment, Parks, and Recreation Committee on the 25th, the virtual meeting, so you will all have the ability to get that somewhere between now and then, and look it over, and you'll have the whole summer to think about it. But I'm moving on to promoting it to all of the elected officials and also to the people that polluted the creek, all the major oil companies, because this being proposed as a public-private partnership. So it's not going to put a burden solely on the city. The city is one of the parties that is named in the federal lawsuit, so everybody needs to green themselves, and I have a great opportunity to do that, involving lots of different sporting activities, education, cultural events, things for children and the elderly, skating rink, skateboard park, basketball, roller derby, I mean, you name it. We even have a farmer's market in this proposal. It took me quite a while to design all of this. I'm a graduate of the School of Visual Arts, so I have a background in media and design, and so and I come from a family of creative builders, architects, engineers, and designers. So that's it. Just if you want more information, I gave you that address, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Okay, next is Charlton D'Souza, and then David Kupferberg. You have 2 minutes. Charlton, starting now.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Charlton D'Souza, and so the reason why I'm testifying tonight is because we went to check out the new bus stop that was put across the street from Sunnyside Community Services. The bus stop is very thin and narrow, and I don't think it's going to pass a wheelchair assessment test. We are actually going to go and conduct a field study with the wheelchair, a walker, to see the measurements. And it's from the glass to the strip. It has to be 6 feet to 5 feet wide. If it's not accessible, because the wheelchair has to be able to go on the bus stop. Also, I wanted to talk about the accident on the Queensboro Bridge. Transportation Alternatives and the Transportation Committee, what they need to do is they need to figure out a way to separate. It shouldn't be a two-way bike lane. That's a recipe for disaster. And, how did the scooter get on? But I think that's something that has to be discussed, and the community is going to have to work that out. Nobody should die while biking. This is a sad tragedy. But I'm also concerned now about our seniors who are going to get hit by bikes. I'm very concerned about that at this new bus stop. So I hope the chairman will work with us. We also did a report about all the bus stops in the district. It's a professional assessment report from Jack Nirenberg, who's a transportation professional. He's also my vice president. If any board member wants to see that report, please send us your email so we can submit that to you. I believe we submitted it to the chairman and also the transportation chairman. And otherwise, have a good summer. We're here to work with you. We care very much about this community. And any way we can help, we're here to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlton. David, 2 minutes starting now.
Good evening. My name is David Kupferberg. I'm a member of Passengers United. I'm here to talk about the bus stop that has been moved from Queens Boulevard at 39th Place to 39th Street. This is an island bus stop, which the seniors, wheelchair bound, and the blind have to cross a dangerous bike lane in order to access the bus stop. People getting off, well, so much for that. Support Priscilla's Law. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next is Jonathan Suarez. I just asked you to unmute, and if you're comfortable, please turn your camera on also. And you have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hi everyone.
2 minutes starting now.
Thank you. So just real quick, I know I already spoke to the Transportation Board on Tuesday regarding the issue on, in the Hunters Point South Greenway regarding drivers and photographers driving their vehicles up onto the Greenway. I just wanted to say that I did get a call from the 108 precinct today. They're responding to one of my reports on 311, and they did confirm with me that they are in talks with the Parks Department and DOT regarding the installation of bollards at the Greenway entrances. So I just wanted to kind of put that on everyone's radar. I know that we're all going to be breaking for the summer soon, so I'm just hoping that maybe there's some coordination that can be done with Parks, the DOT, and the NYPD regarding those bollards, and maybe hopefully we can see something done this summer regarding the issue. But yeah, I just kind of would like to, for lack of better terms, to strike while the iron is hot with the issue. NYPD seems to be taking it seriously. It sounds like the Parks is going to be taking it seriously, and with the DOT's new parking redesign in that same area, I just figured this would be a great time to try and get those bollards installed at the Greenway so that we can stop bugging NYPD about it and just let the infrastructure do its job, just like it's doing at 50th Avenue and Center Boulevard. We just need those same bollards south of 50th Avenue. Thanks.
Thank you, Jonathan. And that is everyone signed up for public comment tonight, so we will move ahead to the next part of our agenda, which is the presentation on the One LIC Oversight Task Force from Paula Crespo from Pratt. So welcome, Paula. Feel free to take the mic out. Okay.
Thank you, Anatole. Good evening, everyone. I am Paula Crespo. I'm a senior planner at the Pratt Center for Community Development, and I'm here to talk about the One LIC Oversight Task Force. This is the group that is overseeing the city's commitments that it made as part of the latest rezoning that was passed in Long Island City late last year. Next slide. So before I talk, this is going to be a pretty quick presentation, but before I talk about the task force, I'm just going to spend a minute explaining who I and my colleagues are, my co-facilitators of the task force. So again, we're from the Pratt Center for Community Development, and our mission is to work for a more just, equitable, and sustainable city for all New Yorkers. We're based at Pratt Institute, but we do our work all over the city. And we have a staff of planners and researchers that provide and support community-led research, planning, and policy efforts across the 5 boroughs. And we really strive to be a go-to resource for community groups by providing them with facilitation support, plans, reports, toolkits, and data analysis. And our work is in deep partnership with community-based organizations such as the One LIC Oversight Task Force. We really think that it's important to work with groups directly on the ground because we believe that those people who are closest to the issues should really have a real seat at the table in addressing them. Next slide. All right, so back to the real matter at hand here, the One LIC Oversight Task Force. It's an independent body of about 30 people. Its job is to track the progress on these 44 commitments that the city made and report the progress out to the public. So yeah, 43 commitments that the city said it would honor as part of the major rezoning. And these commitments cover things like building new schools, creating new open space, making improvements to the street and sewer system, and investing in the Queensbridge houses. And at the end of my presentation, I'm gonna quickly go over them. This is a relatively new model of community oversight and accountability. Gowanus in Brooklyn had a big rezoning a few years ago, and they were the first neighborhood rezoning that got an oversight task force to oversee and monitor its commitments. And so Long Island City is only the second community oversight task force formed to oversee rezoning commitments. And the task force it has a steering committee, and it's composed of 7 committees that are organized by topic. Next slide, please. So again, the task force is made up of about 30 people. Their names are here, and they serve on one of 7 committees, again, organized by topic. And so each committee is responsible for overseeing the commitments that relate to its committee. Each committee has a chair, or in some cases, 2 co-chairs, and the chairs make up the steering committee. So I'm going to quickly read off the different committees. Queensbridge Houses and Affordable Housing, Parks and Recreation, Schools and Education, Arts and Culture, Sewer Infrastructure and Resiliency, Street Safety and Transportation, and Small and Industrial Businesses. Next slide. So this, next slide, did you? Oh yeah, oh, that was it, yeah, great. So this graph, oh no, why is it not showing? Oh, got it, okay. So this graphic is meant to display, why does it keep moving? Can we just stay here? The various entities that are involved in the oversight and making sure that the commitments are not just met, but that the progress about how they're being met is reported out to the public. So obviously we've got the task force here at the bottom right. The Pratt Center, again, is facilitating the work of the task force, and basically that means that our job is to make it easier for the task force to do its job. And by the way, we at the Pratt Center, we have philanthropic funding to do this work with the task force for 2 years. We'll see what happens after that, but the idea is to, if the funding isn't renewed, the idea is to leave it so that the task force can kind of run itself if we have to exit the picture at some point. Then you have Councilmember Wan's office at the top. Her office appointed the members of the task force. You've got City Hall up there and the Economic Development Corporation. So City Hall / the mayor's office, they're responsible for kind of overall coordination of the updates on the commitments. They're also on point for a few of the commitments that are related to indoor recreational space. They will provide updates at biannual public task force meetings, such as the one that's already been mentioned, but that I'll talk about in a minute. That's happening on June 17th. And finally, the City Hall is going to basically make sure the agencies are doing what they need to be doing in terms of honoring the commitments. And on the, not yet, and on the lower left, you have that big box that shows all the 12 or so city agencies that are implicated in honoring and implementing the commitments. And then, of course, you have the public over here, because ultimately the task force is working on behalf of the public to keep them updated on the progress, or lack thereof, as the case may be, about the commitments. Next slide. Okay, so the public kickoff meeting that Farah for Councilmember Wan's office mentioned, I encourage all of you to attend and encourage you to get your friends and neighbors to attend. It's going to be on Wednesday, June 17th at the School of Law. You will hear a very similar presentation to mine tonight, but you will also have members of the task force going over the meeting to give some initial updates about some of the commitments. They'll focus on the ones that have milestones that are coming up in 2026, but they'll also give updates on some of the big ticket items in the commitments, such as upgrades to Queensbridge, and schools and parks related commitments. And then the task force is going to have its own, the city has a tracker to punch in its updates, but the task force is going to have its own tracker that's more community oriented, and that will be housed on our website, and that will be ready in early July. Next slide. So the task force will hold public meetings 3 times a year, and the city is obligated to provide updates at 2 of those meetings. Meetings with city agencies to coordinate and get updates will be ongoing and as needed. The steering committee of the task force will meet monthly, and each of the committees will also meet monthly. All right, and now I'm just gonna do a very high level review of the commitments. There are 44 of them. I don't think I will read all 44 of them. Okay, so the first one is arts and culture. To be candid, these commitments are not actually new things that the city provided. They're ongoing arts programs that exist. Next slide. Parks and Recreation has several. You've probably heard about some of them, but collaborating with property owners to create a new waterfront esplanade, trying to create new open space under the Queensboro Bridge, supporting the maintenance of Dutch Kills Green, et cetera. Here are the rest of the Parks and Recreation commitments. Renewing Queensbridge Park, renovating the Long Island City branch of the YMCA, activating schoolyards to playgrounds, helping you guys, CB2, advance the Walk to Park site selection and acquisition application, et cetera. Then under the Queensbridge Houses and Affordable Housing Committee, there are a few city-owned lots that the city is going to dispose of and has committed to building 100% affordable housing on them. It's going to make a huge investment, almost $95 million into Queensbridge houses. That includes like improving the Jacob Rees Community Center there and renovating the Resident Association office there. This committee also is going to oversee commitments related to creating a new waste yard, mitigating the rat population at Queensbridge, modernizing the plumbing there, et cetera. And now we're moving on to the street safety and transportation set of commitments, creating an intermodal hub at the 21st Street station, investing in improvements to the 44th Drive corridor, improving connections from the Queens Waterfront Greenway into Queensbridge and Astoria, improving pedestrian safety at the Queensboro Bridge Landing, facilitating the redevelopment of DOT ramp sites as new public space, and a new public toilet at Court Square. And under sewer infrastructure and resiliency, it's really largely about this drainage analysis study that the city I understand, is wrapping up, and then performing the improvements that come out of that study. Small and industrial businesses has one commitment, and it's that the Department of Small Business Services will partner with a local organization to help them do a commercial district needs assessment. And under schools and education, hopefully if these commitments are honored, we're going to have a lot of new school seats throughout the area. One is a new school on Vernon Boulevard, another an elementary school that they're going to construct on 54th Avenue, another one on 46th Avenue, and they have promised to relocate the baccalaureate school for global education. And though that was a very quick whirlwind tour of the commitments, and my presentation is done, and I will do my best to answer questions.
Christine, is there a mic over there? Okay, great.
Thank you very much. I don't think so. No.
Oh, yeah.
I borrow your pen? Thanks. How about this? Yes, okay. So my question has to do with parks. You mentioned the Parks and Recreation Committee. Yeah. Does that include, I mean, virtually all of the open space that was projected, I won't say promised, under the One LIC plan is going to be privately owned open space. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are existing regs for waterfront privately owned spaces that aren't necessarily referred to as POPs, but the inland ones, I think, are a new category of privately owned public spaces in mostly residential buildings that are different than the ones in Manhattan. And to my knowledge, we are not aware of any specific regulations for those spaces. For instance, will they have to meet the same kind of standards that a public park would need with regard to public toilets and other things like that? So these are really critical issues for the nature of the public space that may or may not come to being in Long Island City. My question is, does this task force have, are they part of the conversation? Are you going to discuss those regs and the development of those requirements with the city as they're developed? That is a great question. I was not aware of that, but granted, we're just starting on this project. And my colleague is actually the facilitator of the Parks Committee. So I will definitely take this to her and make her aware of this, and at their next meeting, they can bring it up, and if they are not going to do so already. So yeah, I will encourage them to talk about that.
And Christine, I think that's part of the intent of this group, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I can't tell, because it wasn't specifically a commitment to rewrite these or to develop these regs that don't actually exist.
I mean, it's the intent of this group to have those conversations and
I
reach
hope
out.
so.
And,
I hope so. Thank you. So I'm going to take that back to them. Thank you. Yeah.
Kenny.
Can I give this to Kenny? Or?
Hi there. I was sort of surprised that given that the industrial business zone is a major part of the rezoning, how thin the commitments for small business actually are. And I'm curious about what methodology, what's the actual plan to, quote, preserve, and, other than advising industrial tenants of their rights, what practical, actual steps are going to be taken to protect and preserve existing small businesses?
To narrowly answer that question, the commitments don't really speak to that. So from looking at it very narrowly, the commitments say nothing about helping industrial tenants.
So the thing is, the commitments, I mean, they are there. There was certainly a lot of lip service paid to that topic. I attended every single meeting, as well as multiple meetings that we had with our land use committee, and certainly preservation and arts as well is included in this picture. So what exactly is a commitment? Where do these commitments actually derive from?
The city, I was not part of the process of making the commitments, so I wasn't involved, but the city came up with them.
Okay.
I don't know if other people have more insight who are actually part of the rezoning process and negotiations.
I feel you, Kenny. I had the same concern, especially within arts and culture commitments. So as someone who's on the task force, and also we haven't had our committee meeting yet, and we also want to bring this to the full first public meeting. So I really strongly encourage all of us as board members to show up to this meeting, and hold this process accountable and the agencies accountable. But essentially, we have to kind of push the process. We have to push beyond this sticking to the 44 points. And I think it also came up in steering committee, I think, Paula, that there was a suggestion made that at the public hearing, we show what the Community Board 2 recommendations were and side by side to what the actual 44 points that the city cranked out, so that we can also put the conversation and the accountability into some context. So I think we have to find some creative ways to try and include the small business investments as well as the arts and culture ones, because the commitments that were up there, as Paula said, are not real.
No, they have to be real. That's the whole point. They have to be real, and then some. Anyone online? Board members? I can't see the. All right, Maury, go ahead.
I know it's a little late in the process, but I wonder if there's some way the board can advocate with the council person to make sure someone, at least from the Small Business Committee, is actually on the Oversight Committee. Because we have somebody from LIC Partnership, and we have some other folks, but we don't have anybody from Community Board 2 Small Business Committee, and it makes sense that somebody be on that.
Yeah.
So can we lobby her or advocate?
Yeah, we can definitely bother and advocate.
Okay, thank you.
Riley.
Great. I trust that the street safety and transportation is in good hands with their chair. I don't see too much there. It's going to be a primarily pedestrian area because there's a whole lot of housing and a whole lot of jobs, but not a whole lot of car infrastructure that can really support a lot of automobiles. And there's going to have to be a lot of public transit, mass transit. So I don't see a lot of that there, a lot of widening sites. So the same kind of treatments that happen in Manhattan for dense business neighborhoods and residential neighborhoods to kind of fix problems that were created in the past with street design, they have to happen at the beginning rather than fixing them as they come up. So that's one thing is the streets have to be designed for pedestrians, and they have to be designed for safety. They have to be designed for cyclists to anticipate the fact that there's going to be a lot of people walking on the sidewalks. But also it's going to take state cooperation because they run the actual MTA, and a lot of times they create capital plans 10 years ahead. So that's all there.
Great points.
Okay.
Paula, do you want to mention the immediate hurdle that we have as part of this group, the delays in the budget and?
So many of these commitments are contingent on the city's budget that is currently being worked on. So we will see how that turns out.
And one of our tasks as the task force, and that we're also encouraging everyone to do, is to go to City Hall on June 10th, next Wednesday, when all the various committees meet and advocate for these. Well, first advocate for whatever we'd like, but first immediately to move up the timelines that were promised as part of this agreement.
Yep.
10 a.m. onwards, but register ASAP, because the meeting does fall off the calendar eventually. Any other questions? Kevin, yeah?
Hi. I'm feeling that 3 times a year to have a public meeting may not be enough, if that's what I understand. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I think there's a lot of interest, certainly from us, about how this is all developing. And it's hard to be everywhere at once. I know a lot of us here tonight can't even come out on the 17th because we have a land use committee meeting the same night.
Yeah.
So if there's a way, and I know you'll have the website tracker, but if there's a way to give us more real-time information and ways to give you feedback, I think that would be positive.
I will take that back.
And if I may, I think we have an email service that we're building. We're building the Instagram. So yeah, we're trying to cover more communication platforms. If there's no other questions, I'll just add that from the Pratt Center, all the facilitators have been fantastic. So it's not easy. It's a community board's worth of people to manage and corral. So they've done a fantastic job.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Because Pramit is on the steering committee, can we try to maybe reschedule or make earlier land use for this month? Okie dokie.
Maybe we start at 5 or something. Thank you, Paula.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Paula. And moving to the board business section. So starting with attendance. Ryan, please.
You want me to wait till 8? I don't think we usually do it this early. Never gets old. All right, here we go with. Yeah. Here we go with attendance. Amparo Albabe. Nellie Afshar. Melissa Aguirre. Cheryl Apicella. Cheryl Apicella, if you're online. Oh. Did you unmute her or no? No. Okay. Cheryl?
Present.
Oh, thank you so much. Anatol Ashraf?
Present.
John Bahia? Thanks, Steve. Okay, we'll come back to him. Carisha Batan? Here. Nick Berkowitz? Absent? Okay. Danielle Brecker? Okay. Isabella Bustamante?
Let's go, Nick.
There we go. Carlos Castel-Croak? Evelyn Chango? Lisa Charles?
Present.
Okay. Tanya Chavez? Is she online? Not yet. Okay, we'll come back to her. Osman Chowdhury? Steve Cooper? Kevin Davis? Warren Davis? Maury Gallinoy? Dr. Raz Janutzos? Alexandra Gonzalez?
Present online.
Okay, thank you. Camille Gray? Excused? Okay, thanks. Kenny Greenberg? Leo Gutman? Yeah. Corey Hannigan?
Present online.
Great, thank you. Michelle Dean Hernandez? Mohammed Hossein?
Present online.
Great, thank you. Christine Hunter? William Jourdain? Absent. Okay. Pramit Kumar? Excused, thanks. Bradford Laban? Patrick Martinez? Bill Murray?
Here.
Online?
Online.
Great, thank you. Eric Narberg? Marianani? Riley Owens? Rafael Perez? Randy Plumel? Excused. Pia Raman. Present. Zakira Raman. Present. Alyssa Sawicki. Absent. Fajelson Sherpa. Okay, off the board. Ryan Smith, that is me. Lauren Springer. Amaris Valdez. Elena Van Sluten.
Here online.
Great, thank you. Leticia Vasquez. Not here? Oh, okay. Zev Weinberg. Not here? Okay. And Michael Zurab.
Online.
All right, great. So then just coming back to John Bahia. All right. And then do we have Tanya online yet or no? All right. Well, we have a quorum.
No, having a quorum is applause-worthy, so. Especially after that other month. All right. Did everyone receive the minutes? Did everyone get a glance at the minutes? All in favor of approving, motion to approve the minutes? Yeah, right. All in favor? Show of hands. Any abstentions, meaning you weren't here for the meeting? One abstention. Okay. Oh, anyone on? Cheryl was not here for. So two abstentions. And any opposed? Great. Moving right along to the chair's report. Happy all the June holidays. Happy Pride. Happy Father's Day. Happy end of the school year. Oh yeah, happy end of the school year. And so a couple updates. Raphael's promotion is in progress. So that's happening. So as a reminder, we don't meet in July and August as a full board. We're in recess. But that is when the executive committee and the personnel committee will start hiring. We'll start the hiring process for the district manager. Question about that, Chrissy? Schedule. Okay, sure. Mike, please. I can also repeat the question.
Just a heads up. This thing doesn't like me here. Based on this ULURP that's coming up, we only have till September 8th, which means if the land use committee considers it in June, we'd have to present it at a board meeting that was scheduled before Labor Day. I think it's like September 3rd. And is that when the board is scheduled to meet, or were we going to wait till after Labor Day? That's the issue I'm bringing up.
Sorry, oh yeah, that's the calendar. And at September 10th is the next full board meeting.
So we'll have to request officially that schedule get extended.
Yeah. So let's make a note of that. Otherwise, we can try to do a special meeting, but that week is not, is not a good time.
As long as we ask, I don't think in the past it hasn't been a big deal for city planning to just give us the extra week.
Yeah. I think it should be possible. But we'll take that to DCP. Wait, so we'll start the hiring process for the district manager. We already have a few good candidates, but we do want to make sure that we cast a wide net, we want to go far and wide and get a really good pool of candidates. So we'll also share the job description internally, and please, share with your networks. I think the one thing we can do is hire from within the board. So, but other than that, we'll move forward with that. In addition, yes, Roz.
On that subject, are we going to be able to proceed to hire somebody? Do we have to wait until we meet in the fall? Will this full board have to?
The full board does need to show that we've made a decision about the district manager, but other boards just...
Are you sure?
Other boards just present their final
Steve
candidate.
might have something to say about this.
Steve? Right. Right, so the answer was the executive committee's executive and personnel committee's responsibility is exactly that. Absolutely, clock is ticking. The mic is off, Rose.
Is it?
There you go, okay.
Okay, I just think it's so important that we hire somebody as soon as possible, and I'm glad, Steve, you clarified that the executive committee would be empowered to proceed and get this show on the road.
Absolutely, agreed. And just quickly this month, CB2 is a co-sponsor of Sunny Pride. So Sunny Pride is on June 14th. Not June 14th. June 12th. Strike that from the record. So Sunny Pride is on June 12th, 2026. We'll start at 5:30 p.m. at the 46th Street Sunnyside Arch, then march to 40th Street Plaza, and then the performance and the party until 9 p.m. Yes, Roz. Uh-oh.
It's on, I think, yeah. Are we going to be tabling, and would this be an opportunity for us to get rid of our bags of swag? We have about, how many, 30 bags at least? I was sorry I didn't get on busy. We should have brought one for each of you.
That's a great opportunity to get rid of more swag. Maury, did you have your hand up? Point of information. The mic, from Christine?
I think a board member can actually apply for the job, but they would have to resign once they become. You can't be a sitting member of the board and a district manager.
Okay, makes sense.
That's what John Mayer did on CB5. He was a member of the board, and then he resigned, and now he's the coordinator there.
Makes sense. Great, so that is it for me. Any new members? Do you not have a committee yet? Raphael, you're good? You're in city services, right? Okay. Yeah, I think, and in your environment, so I think we're all covered. Awesome. All right, moving right along to treasurer's report. Michael.
Yeah, this will be a quick one. Good evening, everybody. Sorry to not be there in person. I'm feeling a little under the weather tonight. Couple quick updates. First, on the statement of needs process. So as you know, we sort of started doing outreach for the community board's annual survey about the district of needs, and we're going to continue doing that. I want to thank Eric, Amparo, Anatole, Lisa Charles for tabling at LIC Springs, including not only handing out bags of swag, but also encouraging folks to scan the QR code that takes people to the survey. I personally witnessed people scan it, so that was exciting, and we have started to see results trickle in, so that was cool to see that kind of person-to-person outreach besides in our usual networks and digital forums, and so I'm hoping we can continue to do that. I also want to thank our public member, Vishnu Reddy, who had prepared a Spanish language version of the survey that we now have, and Leticia Vestas for reviewing it to make sure that it's high quality. So the main theme on this front for now is outreach. I will schedule a committee meeting for later in this month to sort of function as a more of a working session on outreach, and also an opportunity for any committee chairs to just sort of ask questions and get a refresher on the process. If you've done it before, and I'll share some resources ahead of time about what we need from committee chairs in terms of that process. If you weren't part of it last year, but basically, we submit a prioritized list of budget requests to the city, and so we'll need certain things from committee chairs, namely like list of these requests, capital and expense budget requests. So I'll send some more info on that. And we'll likely meet again in July and in August, just to both continue beating the drum on outreach and also sort of preparing our submission. Although we did a lot of work revamping it last year, so I think it'll be a lot lighter lift this year than last time. So yeah, if you're interested in outreach, I'd encourage you to attend that meeting for later in June, not yet calendared. Even if you're not a committee chair, I think there's always just a lot of opportunity here to engage members to try to get the word out and try to get as much input from community members as possible about the needs of our community. This is really like the most structured and largest instrument we have for learning about the needs in our community and how we as a board can advocate. And so I'd really love to encourage folks to participate. And then as a second set of updates, I wanted to briefly mention the board's budget. I don't have too much of a concrete update. As Anatole mentioned, we've been working with OMB and the city on Rafael's promotion. We've also just been having a lot of internal discussions about, including with the borough president's office, about our operational budget. And I think as the executive committee meets, we'll continue to sort of hash that out for next fiscal year. My goal is that for our first meeting in September, we'll have sort of a line item set of allocations for the board to review and vote on. But just from kind of reviewing what our budget will look like and sort of comparisons with other boards, I am pretty optimistic that many of the needs that we've talked about in terms of land use consulting or some of these smaller asks, like a larger screen for hybrid meetings in the board's office, I think these are likely feasible within our budget, as well as some of the needs around like getting a larger banner. I saw at LIC Springs that our existing banner is quite small relative to like what the table that we're tabling at, and so like I think we can make a lot of progress on these things. I'm optimistic, but when we meet in September, I plan to sort of have a formal vote where we'll review the budget together and vote on it. That's all I have for you tonight. If there are any questions, happy to answer them. If not, hope you all have a great summer.
I think we're good. Thanks, Michael. And yeah, again, especially thank you, Eric, for really taking the lead for LIC Springs this year. So really appreciate it. And I forgot to mention, we're going to try to have our summer meet and greet. It'll be our fourth or fifth summer since we started it, right? So. Fifth, yeah. So tradition. We gotta. we'll set that up and send that around. Frank Automanelli is happy to bring us back, but that's a potential location. Awesome. So we'll plan that. Yeah, and then next is the office report.
Hi everyone, I have some cool updates to share. We recently launched a social services section on our website that has links to programs that people can apply to, whether it's like fares, SNAP, or cash assistance. And I'm hoping that we can build on this resource list to connect constituents in our district to these programs. And for constituent cases, we received 13 complaints this month, 6 of them being park, 3 of them being Department of Sanitation related, 2 DOT, 1 PD, and 1 Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. And we constantly follow up with constituents to keep them updated on what is going on with their issues. And, as we segue into the summer, we'll soon be having our district manager. So I'm really excited to help them transition into this role and serve the board effectively. And I'm also want to take the time to thank you folks for just being very supportive during this transition period. And I really valued working closely with all of you and implementing different ideas, whether it's like QR codes or kiosks or finding different ways to engage with the community. I really enjoyed that. And I'll be seeing you guys throughout the summer, during the summer, what is it? Summer get-together, summer meet and greet, and I hope you all have a great summer. Stay safe, stay cool, and have fun. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Raphael. And moving right along to board business, the 2026 bylaws update. So our bylaws committee chair.
Yikes, this mic. Also before we get started, shout out to Eric, who's always been at LIC Springs every year, really holding it down. Okay, so this has been a longer journey than expected, as is usually the case. We discussed this at length in our February meeting. For those of you who didn't start in April, we didn't meet quorum to vote on it in March, and gave it some time for the new folks to kind of get their feet wet on how we operate things around these parts. And so, around a month ago, sorry, yep, get it, Raf. About a month ago, we shared this with the full board. We did take some notes into consideration from what we discussed in our February meeting. Noteworthy, we took out language around voting as a slate. Danielle, there you go. We removed language around a slate. We changed the minority report to dissenting opinion. There was some feedback and back and forth. Okay, great. Yeah, people wanted that, and we found a solution forward. We slate that, what else? We add some clarifying language that public members do not participate in full board meetings. That was a bit ambiguous for some people. And in touch with Alan at the Borough President's office with regards to December voting, secret ballot, no secret ballot. So no secret ballot is allowed. A member's vote must be included in the minutes. That is directly from QBP legal, and the chair must vote. So in Robert's rules, there's some ambiguity to that, but for all intents and purposes of what we do here, the chair must be a voting member of the board. And so we made those adjustments. There were also a few typos, which, thank you, Michael, I adjusted. And lastly, there was a section in the removal of officers that mentioned how a dissenting opinion must be included. It was kind of contradictory to the language of the dissenting opinion, and also it made it seem as if it would never be a unanimous opinion to remove an officer. So it just kind of removed the requirement. Of course, that language is still there if a dissenting opinion wants to be included when removing an officer, and that is in Article 10. And so that's kind of the rundown of adjustments and tweaks that were made since we all discussed at length in February. Steve? Okay, Raphael is not here, so somebody make a note.
Yeah, that was Steve,
okay.
and then motion to approve by Steve, and then seconded by Carlos. Discussions? Any discussion? No?
Okay, call the question. So, there was a question before you called the question, I believe.
Does the motion include the dissenting opinions, or are we discussing that separately?
Thank you for clarifying that. My apologies. So the dissenting opinion, it was asked to, since this was brought up so much debate and was so new, we'll have a separate vote just on the dissenting opinion to include it or not. My apologies.
So
does your motion still stand? Oh, you assumed it was separate. Okay, great. There we go.
Awesome. And Steve did call to question, right? So, okay. Is this a show of hands? It's not a ULURP, it's not a... Oh, wait. All in favor of calling the question? Folks online, okay, great. Cheryl, I didn't see a hand. What? Perfect. Okay, great. Great. Okay. All right. Now, but what's the format? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Plus, Raphael helpfully printed the record for it already, so we're going to do a roll call. Okay. Okay, is Tanya yet? Or no? Yeah, let me change that real quick. Okay. All right, sure. All right, so starting again with Amparo Abel Bay.
Yes.
Nellie Afshar. Melissa Aguirre. Cheryl Apicella.
Yes.
Anatol Ashraf.
Yes.
John Bahia.
Yes.
Carisha Batan.
Yes.
Nick Berkowitz is not here. Danielle Brecker.
Yes.
Isabella Bustamante.
Yes.
Carlos Castel-Croak. Yes. Evelyn Chango. Lisa Charles. Is she online still? Lisa, if you're online, I think we're just unmuting you.
I'm online now. I'm muted. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Tanya's not online yet, you said. Osman Chowdhury. Yeah. Steve Cooper. Yeah. Kevin Davis.
Yes.
Warren Davis. Yes. Maury Gallinoy. Yes. Dr. Raz Janutzos.
Yes.
Alexandra Gonzalez.
Yes, online.
Great, thanks. Camille Gray, if you are present online now, if you could just say present and then cast your vote.
I am present right now.
And your vote is?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It wasn't
Thank you so
counted
much.
for roll call. I don't know if that matters. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. We'll got you for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kenny Greenberg. Leo Gutman. Corey Hannigan.
Yes.
Michelle D. Hernandez. Mohammed Hossein. Okay, we'll come back to him. Okay, Christine Hunter. Paper. William Jourdain's not here. Permit's not here. Bradford Laban.
Yes.
Patrick Martinez. Bill Murray.
Yes.
Okay. Eric Narberg.
Yes.
Mario Nani. Riley Owens.
Yes.
Rafael Perez. Randy Pommel is excused. Pia Rahman.
Yes.
Sakira Rahman. Alyssa Sawicki is absent. Ryan Smith is me. I vote yes. Lauren Springer. Amaris Valadez.
Yes.
Okay. Elena Van Sluten. Is she online?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Letitia Vasquez is not here. Zev Weinberg is not here. Michael Zurab.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay, and Mohammed Hossein.
Yes, online.
Okay, great. Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, great. Way to go, all of us. So the next part is the dissenting opinion. The dissenting opinion is new. It is not in the previous version. We had heated, passionate debate about it. We referred to other community boards in other boroughs. We tried to set it with some limitations, so you need to have it couldn't be too frivolously used and, goodness forbid, abused, but we didn't want it to be onerous as well. So we are going to try it out if, of course, we want to pass it this evening, and you all should have a copy.
Do you want to state again what it is?
What it is? The dissenting opinion is if we have if the board has a vote and a minimum of 5 people really disagree with the vote, then those individuals can get together and within 7 days of the vote happening, provide a written explanation testimony to the office that will be included, appended to the approved resolution. So it signals not a unanimity, but a breadth and diversity of opinion and sentiment with these matters that we vote on, these resolutions. Did that satisfy the question? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Carlos. Who has a microphone or I can, Carlos makes, okay.
We can make the motion and then discuss.
Okay.
So is there a second for Carlos's motion? Not yet.
We can discuss if somebody seconds Carlos's motion to approve. Okay.
And then the motion is to amend the dissenting opinion into the bylaws, right?
Or add the dissenting opinion into the bylaws, yes.
Okay.
Christine needs a microphone.
Now? Yes, okay. What seems impractical here, and I'm not sure that it's necessary, is the decision to draft a dissenting opinion must be announced during the meeting of which the board passed a resolution. In a hybrid format, if 4 people or 2 people out there vote no and 5 people here vote no, it's very hard to have any kind of really quick meeting to decide whether or not you want to do a dissenting opinion and to be limited to that during the meeting. It just seems impractical to me and not fair.
Well, I won't speak to the fairness of it, but I think the idea is if there are folks who dissent, then they can raise their hand and say they want to put together a dissenting opinion about the resolution at hand. And then it's 7 days to put one together and submit it.
But so you're saying it would be up to individuals, not to the whole group of 5 or 7 or however many people we're going to do it. It would just be individuals who would say, well, I think we should, create a dissenting opinion.
But they will have to sign on to it, right?
Yeah, so I would assume that,
yes,
if there's,
I was just answering to what Steve said without a mic to the internet. So yes, people would have to sign on to the dissenting opinion.
So in practice, I would imagine, if there's at least 5 no votes to something, then it's within those at least 5 people in 7 days to decide to draft a letter, right?
Maury? No.
I don't need to flip over backwards. I would like to just make a friendly amendment to say, because I think it is impractical to have this happen at that meeting. So whether we make a friendly amendment to give 1 business day to make that known, or that one person can say they would like to make one, make a dissenting, and then they can corral 5 people together and put it together. And if they don't get the corral together, then it doesn't happen in 7 days, right?
I'm sorry, Maury, I'm not following. What is your friendly amendment?
My friendly amendment is to get rid of this whole statement. And then just that people have 7 business days and you need 5 people. We don't need to announce it.
So you're going to omit number 3 from...
Yeah, my.
To eliminate, your friendly amendment is to eliminate number 3.
Correct, thank you.
Carlos, do you accept that amendment?
But I don't think it's Carlos's, is it?
It is. It's
Carlos made
his
the motion.
It's his motion.
The motion to the.
Okay.
Okay, so as of now, he does not accept. Steve?
Steve, then Carisha.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hopefully somebody will explain why they feel that this is necessary. But in the meantime, I'd just like to make a comment about it. If we take a vote where 52 people or something like that, and the vote comes out 27 to 25, then it's obviously we do have dissent. We do have a large dissent, and it shows up in our vote. If in fact we have 52 people and 47 vote yes, and 5 people vote no, they may be dissenting, but they're such a small, incredibly small minority. Why should they be heard? Do you understand that when we send our votes into the various city agencies, they look and they see what the vote is? If we start to play games and say, we're really for this, except for these people who are not for this, then we have to worry about which opinion is going to be read. You know, as an attorney, very often I quote dissenting opinions. In fact, sometimes dissenting opinions are what's remembered and not the majority decision. We don't want that. We want a majority decision. We want our votes recorded. If it's 27 to 25, that shows the disagreement, not a dissenting opinion.
Your commentary is noted.
Carisha.
That's a really good point. Just wanted to clarify in point 2, when there may be more than one dissenting opinion. So theoretically, what would that look like? If that means several groups of, let's say there's, 10 dissenting people and they all need to coordinate within 7 days, how many different opinions are going to be written and then submitted? And then what do we have to do? We all have to accept all of the dissents as attached to the resolution, or are we voting on, like to Steve's point, how do we know which one to include? Should we have like a threshold maybe as to only a dissenting opinion can be acknowledged if the vote is, I don't know. Because I see Steve's point.
Well, there's no vote on the dissenting opinion.
Okay, so in
it's
7 days, people can just write as many different dissenting opinions as they'd like, and we are to attach it to. Right. So it could be a comment, so like there could be like one person that is part of different groups of 5 that are sharing 3 different dissenting. So you know what I mean? It kind of gets a little bit, just wanted to clarify.
Yep, and that's up to the discretion of the group submitting.
Right.
The opinion.
On Maury's amendment, I think I understand the purpose of it, but I guess I would love to hear Patrick's thoughts about adding that or taking number 3 out, because I think it is helpful for us to understand that, like, if you're making a dissenting opinion, you have to know that you're going to do that, and announcing it at the meeting, I think, makes it kind of like, you're proposing something at the meeting that everyone knows is going to happen. Whereas if you kind of do it secretly 7 days later, like we have to wait until the next meeting to find out, or we'll get an email. Like, I think it's important for someone to be able to say it. You can still organize the dissenting opinion afterwards. So I think it should be announced at the meeting. I'd appreciate your thoughts, because I know there was a lot of thinking behind the scenes about how this was framed. So
I don't want to add my, put my finger on the scale more than necessary. But yeah, I think the decision, it was decided to include this language in by the working group because we did, wanted to avoid things being rushed or surprises. So that is why it was, okay, if we're going to do one, or if someone's going to do one, make an announcement at the meeting, and then that's 7 days to submit it. Okay, Cheryl, you're on live.
Hey, so yeah, quick question for clarification. What is the intent for these dissenting opinions? Is it for fairness within the board so that it's like more democratic? Or is it because it's supposed to be like adding information to the things that we send to the city agencies?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You were cut off.
Oh. What I'm asking is, what is the intent and the purpose of this? Is it for fairness within the board so that everyone can be heard? Or is it like something to add information to the decisions of the city? Like, we're overwhelmingly agree, but there are some dissenters and this is their reason, and we're just providing that as extra information for the city to just have that knowledge. That I'm not very clear on that.
Yep, I understand. And I think this is, since this is so new, there's a bit of a learning that comes with what this is for. This is definitely designed to include the wider spectrum of opinion of the board. And so to answer the first part of your question, and the second part of your question, it can be for folks who disagree because they don't want it, or a measure is not going far enough, and that extra detail can be included at their discretion. Maury?
A couple things. One is we also talked about how it provides context to any motion and bill, like to do this. And I would say I went around and I called different boards and reached out to different boards around the city that do have minority reports or dissenting opinions, as we're calling it. The one that was closest to us is, I think, Manhattan 9, and their bylaws say the decision to draft a minority report must be announced within 30 days of a meeting at which the board acted upon the issue. And it also says the minority report shall state that the board votes on the issue and the number of members represented by the minority report. I really do think that forcing people to announce it at the meeting is not really giving anybody the chance to really organize and discuss and see that there is a dissent that we should we do it or should we not do it? And, you know, let people marinate on it. Maybe they won't even do it if they have a day or 2 or 3 days. So if we have a 7-day, it has to be turned around so quickly in 7 days, we're probably filtering out a lot of people that would do it anyway. And giving a day or 2 and they make that known, they could let the board know, and then that could be distributed to everyone. I will say I spoke to the district manager, and the district manager reached out to their board members and came back to me and said that at Manhattan 9, it's very rarely ever used in years and years and years. So I think we're debating something that may be important and may be useful, but probably will very, very rarely ever get used, even for one dissent, much less multiple dissents. So I don't think we're going to have an issue of 10 dissents coming through. And then the final thing I'll say is, remember, we're a board and we can make and pass motions. So if this doesn't work, we can always next year say, oh, this is getting out of hand, too many motions are happening, this is crazy, let's strike this whole dissenting opinion from our bylaws. And we can do that in September or October or November of next year or whenever.
Danielle? And then
Thanks. I want to remind everybody that most governing bodies do have some form of dissenting opinion. In our state legislature, it is allowing members who are going to vote against or not with the majority to speak at length about why they're doing that. And I do think it's a part of democracy. But I also think, based on this board, where I think I can remember maybe 4 votes where we've been super divided, where it's been close, where I think this would actually happen. Most of our votes, it's like either unanimous or 1 or 2 people. So I see this as when we're doing something very controversial and divisive, and that other point of view should be represented, because the vote wasn't 2 people, it was 23 to 25 or something like that.
Michael and then Steve.
Thanks. Yeah, I think this is a good discussion. I guess so I guess there are a few things I want to discuss. So I guess for full candor, initially I was not a supporter of this provision, especially as initially rendered, which is that basically one person could file a dissenting decision or minority report, as we were then calling it, and the sort of potential ways that could get really bogged down if you imagine we're submitting 5 opinions to a city agency. So I do like a lot of the changes in the current version. I do wonder, and in part to Danielle's point and Steve's point earlier, whether 5 is the right threshold. I mean, I am imagining a vote like 40-10, and you could imagine a world like the bylaws would allow us to send 2 dissenting opinions and 1 majority opinion in a case where, it's a 40-10 type vote. And I'm not sure that that's going to effectively communicate the board's opinion. Of course, this is all hypothetical, but what else do we have, right? Like this provision doesn't currently exist. And I do remember that Pramit, who's the chair of the land use committee and can't attend tonight, was also, quite concerned that, and he raised this at the February meeting, about the potential for a provision like this to dilute the board's recommendations on ULURP applications, where it's like, the board says we support, but we have these 3 conditions, but then maybe you have a dissenting opinion that says we don't support these conditions, or just how that could contribute to ambiguity about the board's perspective. And so where I'm coming down on this, and I'm curious if maybe there's appetite for it, and I feel like this was also raised in February, is maybe 5 just is a little too low of a threshold. If this is for provisions like 25-23, maybe a threshold like 15 would make sense, where it's like we're not going to be sending 3 dissenting opinions. And so there is this opportunity, if there's like really a tough vote where the board is quite divided, we can provide that nuanced perspective, but we're not opening the door to these potential situations where, it was actually not a controversial report, but elected officials get 3 opinions from our board, 2 of which are different from what the board actually voted for. And so I'd like to offer the amendment to raise the threshold to 15.
Carlos, thoughts? So, okay, repeat that again, Carlos.
Raising threshold to 15 people. Yes, is that what he said?
That is what he said.
And I will also accept Maury's amendment to remove 3, section 3. Yes, that has to be announced at the meeting.
Steve? No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. I've been listening to the comments, and I have to make comments about that. What Danielle brought out is the fact that if a member of the Assembly or the Senate or Congress, for that matter, is against something, they can speak out. Please, anyone here, if you're against the motion, do it. Speak out. That's what dissent is. A vote is different from a dissent. Maury says, let it go through, we can always change it. Well, that's great. So at the next meeting, 15 people say no, 33 say yes, and we put in 15 dissenting opinions. Because looking at your amendment there, it doesn't say that you can't have more than 1. It just simply says you have to have X number of people sign on to it. So therefore, we could have, hypothetically, a motion from the board passes something with a 2-to-1 majority, and we put in our motion and 15 dissenting opinions. Changing things after the fact doesn't work that well. And yes, it's likely not going to happen, but it could. Why are we exposing ourselves to possibility?
And then more. Still on.
Hey guys, so I do not agree to raising the limit to 15. The only reason why I say we should be at 5 is even though we are community board too, we are still very tribalistic at heart. Blissfield, Long Island City, we don't vibe so well, even though we're all the same board. With side, same thing. Bringing up to 15, the smaller communities, sub-communities in the community board won't be heard. So that's just my opinion on that.
I'll just repeat that. You know, I probably was the only person that actually went around and called and reached out and contacted boards that actually have dissenting opinions or minority reports. And none of these scary, fearful, oh my God, we're going to have 100 dissenting opinions have happened. The board that I was just quoting, Board 9 in Manhattan, that actually has no threshold, zero. One person can write a minority report. And you can attach them to the recommendations. Remember, we're an advisory board. We're not making decisions in any other way other than advisory. But members with a differing official board position may wish to report a minority position to other city officials and agencies. These boards are telling me that they don't get very many, if any, of these. So are we that mistrustful of our co-board members that we're going to go and have pandemonium and we're going to have 40 dissents? And are we that distrustful of our members that we're going to force a huge number of like 15? I mean, most of our dissents are like, when we have them, they're very small. So not allowing a few people to coordinate and send something over is not them to give context to a discussion. So I really believe that we should very seriously consider, because if it's 15 and all this, it's like crazy. We might as well not even have it. And if you're trying to just castrate the bill, we might as well just vote it down, then let it actually do what it's intended to do and allow people to be to give context to dissent.
And kudos to Maury. While we did look at the other bylaws, Maury did do the outreach directly, so kudos.
Roz, Carisha, and then me.
I don't care whether it's 5 or 15. 15 is better because I actually am very much opposed to this. I think what Steve said brought a lot of clarity, that there's a difference between a vote and a discussion and opinions. There are many venues for us to, and groups of us, subgroups or whatever, to express our opinions. But when we are speaking for the board, it should be a voice. And that I'm not a supporter of this idea of dissenting opinions. I think what will happen is that people will cherry pick, and as somebody said earlier, they'll go for the dissenting opinion that they happen to latch onto or like. So I recommend that. It's kind of crazy if, and besides that, the power of the board speaking collectively, if this isn't announced at the board at the time, it means that the rest of the board is just completely out of the picture and are not really getting a chance to dissent to the dissent.
I have a mic somehow. Yeah, I was going to share the same concern that Roz has. I don't necessarily think it's about distrusting one another. I think it's that specific to our community board. And if we think practically in the next 2-3 years, there are going to be a lot of contentious votes on the table, especially with land use. And I've been here long enough to be part of many of these contentious votes. I agree. I think within the context of a vote of a community board, there does need to be some sort of singular voice, especially in the dissenting opinion. If individuals want to voice anything opposing a community board vote, there are other avenues to reach city agencies and to reach your elected officials to have your opinion heard. But when we're talking about what's going on record within community board, I almost want to say, I'm a little bit torn about the threshold. I mean, maybe we just split the difference and call it 10, but maybe there shouldn't be more than one. Maybe the way we organize, you know, if there is a majority vote and that's a singular voice and we always discuss hours on end what the resolution should be and all of these amendments, then there should also maybe be a singular voice for dissenting if we want that opinion to be represented from the board.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe that is. Maybe I am then suggesting that the minimum be 10 and that there should only be one dissenting opinion.
Carlos, would you?
Carlos?
You accept 10?
And only, wait, is it, so you're saying 10 people, one opinion? Carlos, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Can I?
Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually feel very strongly about the not, if it's going to be 10, not limiting it to one, because I think that creates an impossible situation where like the first 10 people to send an email saying we're writing a minority report or dissenting opinion rather, block out anyone else from doing a dissenting opinion and control the discussion. And we have no mechanism for deciding who gets to be the 10 people. That's why I think having the way to achieve having a single dissenting opinion would be to have a relatively higher threshold. But yeah, that way like people have to agree on their dissenting opinion. And so you don't have this kind of odd situation where whoever raises their hand first gets to exclude other people from doing a dissenting opinion and just sort of takes the space away from doing that. So 10, 15, not a huge difference. I mean, I think 15 is more reasonable, but if it's 10, I do think we should allow multiple. That's sort of the point. Otherwise, it gets very confusing which 10 people get to choose what the dissenting opinion is.
Is that an amendment?
I don't know. It didn't sound like an amendment. It didn't sound like an amendment.
So I don't quite know what the current status is, but as I understand it, it's now 10 is the threshold, but we're not adding that there can be more than one. And so my recommendation would be we add back there can be more than one.
So I'm sorry, Michael, say that one more time.
Yeah, so as I currently understand the language, number 2, item 2, has a threshold of 10 people required for a minority report, but it states it's removed this sentence, there can be multiple minority reports. And I'm proposing we add back the sentence, there can be more than one minority report, because otherwise, this sort of must be true. Otherwise, it's the case that whoever raises their hand first gets to decide what the content of the dissenting opinion is.
Okay, Carlos?
Point of clarification, I guess. I don't think it's true that the first person who raises their hand would be the one who has to organize this. Because if we're taking out the part where you have to announce it, the people who are organizing it just have to have 10 or more people organizing a decision. So I am not accepting that amendment.
But Carlos, what I understand.
Okay, thanks.
No, can I just ask Carlos? So how would, suppose 10 people decide to write a dissenting opinion and there can only be one dissenting opinion, how would another set of 10 people write a dissenting opinion? Like where would, or in that case, would there still be 2 dissenting opinions? It just wouldn't say that in the bylaws?
I guess if you had 20 or more people and they both wrote dissenting opinions, then whoever sends theirs in first gets it in.
I think that's strictly Carlos's opinion and not part of the motion or the amendment that was not approved. Anatol?
Yeah, I mean, just taking a step back, I think overall, it kind of, to the dichotomy that I'm seeing here, like the intent of this is absolutely to strengthen the board's decision, to be more inclusive, to allow the full range of opinions on a topic. So, and then it is more democratic in a way. And on the on the cons. Nelly has okay. Yeah, we'll get there. But on the cons, I feel like it's ultimately, we're not an elected body where we don't have the power of legislation. We don't have the power of the state assembly or a city council, or we are advocating. We're advocacy, and our advocacy is only. It seems to so far has been as effective as our one unified voice. So that's I think from hearing from many people, I think that is the danger. but I also see the hope in that, numbers wise, it really may not be that frequent, but we're not a legislative body. Nellie.
Thank you. This has already been said, but I think it's worth saying again to ground us that we are an advisory body. You just said this, right? So we're not quite akin to other legislative bodies that make decisions. Ultimately, our purpose here is to meet as a community. We discuss, we deliberate, we raise concerns, we raise questions, and ultimately we vote. And we present forward a decision or a vote that represents our collective voice as a community. So to further complicate and confuse that, we would essentially diffuse that recommendation by adding additional opinions to that. And then finally, I encourage everyone to ask yourselves, what is the problem we're trying to solve? The process that we laid out is in fact inclusive. In fact, there's been many times that some of you will stand up as a private citizen and voice your own personal opinion on the matter. That is amongst many opportunities that we all have to present on record our opinion on certain matters. Not to mention that there's minutes that document the discussions that happen here, and they're also posted publicly. So please ask yourself, what is the problem we're trying to solve, and does this make us more effective as a board?
I just want to take a moment to remind everyone what exactly it is the current motion is. So it's to approve this part, yes, this
One
article,
sheet of
except
paper.
point number 2, changes goes from 5 to 10 members in support. And the second line, instead of there may be more, there must be only one dissenting opinion. And then point number 3 is removed entirely. So those are the only changes to what you have in front of you this evening. Maury? Oh, Leo? Okay. Oh, okay.
Hi. Yeah, so I think I'm feeling compelled overall by the people saying no, that it is important to strengthen our voice as a board by being unified. But I would like to point out just on this point of more than one opinion or not, I think it would be better if one person may not sign on to more than one dissenting opinion, rather than deciding whether there may be one or only one or more than one dissenting opinion. I don't think it's you get to vote yes on one thing as when you're voting. I don't think it makes sense to be able to sign on to multiple dissenting opinions that differ from each other substantially. So I guess.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Turn that into a suggestion for an amendment. It would be, it would keep there may be more than one dissenting opinion line, but then also add one person, or each person may sign on to only one dissenting opinion. You
can you repeat that, Leo?
Yes. So the suggestion for amendment is to keep there may be more than one dissenting opinion, keep that line in, but also add each person may sign on to only one dissenting opinion. Okay.
Maury, go ahead.
Maury?
I just want to reiterate the point that the point of this whole thing is to give context. Okay, and we've talked about this before about the idea of minutes. Our minutes are, as our first vice chair, Dr. Roz, will tell you, the point of minutes is to tell what happened, not what was said. And so minutes won't give you the context. And that's why something like this is important. And that's from what I understand, why other boards have created these. This idea of having a threshold of like 10, I already thought 5 seemed like a fair number, but it was also more than other boards. Most boards don't have any number. And to then say, if you have a vote and there were 9 people that voted for or against, and they were the dissenting opinion, or 8 or 7, you're basically saying, no, you cannot dissent now. You cannot write a dissenting opinion. You have to be 10 or 15 people to do it, and a lot of the votes are not very close, and there's a very small number. So to then refuse them the opportunity to do it really defeats the whole point of having an article like this. And like I said, I've talked to other boards, they don't have a lot of times. One board said they've never had it even done. So if it happens so rare, and it's just a tool to be used to give context and to allow that to be put on the record. And some boards also don't even put them or attach them to things they send to agencies. They use them for committees to send to the board so that the board understands where the dissent was. Because a lot of times when we have a vote, when a committee comes and says, we voted on this resolution and we approved it, there's no context for who dissented in that. So sometimes our big votes, like for land use, there's no context, and the board is voting kind of blind in some ways, and just goes along. So I am, at this point, I think it's been so mutated and become impotent that I will not support it as it's been amended so many times. It's not doing what it's meant to do, which is give context and let people dissent. If you say you have to have 10 or 15 people, you're not allowing dissent to happen unless there's a certain number, and I won't support it the way that is.
Riley?
Yeah, just a couple points of clarification. Does this language say that if you are in support of the dissenting opinion, you must sign on? Because I worry about voting down a motion, but not being part of the dissenting group. I don't want the record to show that I voted against a motion and I share that same dissenting opinion. So is the language clearly saying that there must be a minimum of 5 members in support of the dissenting opinion? Do they have to sign on to the opinion? And anyone who didn't sign on does not necessarily agree with that dissenting opinion?
Oh, okay, so I'm sorry. So you're asking, can you write a dissenting opinion if you voted to approve something?
No.
No, please repeat it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if I vote against the motion but I don't agree with the popular dissenting opinion, I want to make sure it's clear that I don't agree with that dissenting opinion. I didn't sign on to it. So is this language saying that if you are in support of the dissenting opinion, you must sign on to it? If you're one of these 5 or 10 members?
No, I don't believe that is what this is saying.
Yeah, so
I will say part of the process, so I don't think that is what it's saying, and part of the process here is we left language deliberately vague at times so that we wouldn't tie ourselves up in knots and we'd have that flexibility to find out what works, what doesn't work as well with this.
Yeah.
So that's why if it's not there, then if it doesn't say, if it's not, doesn't say, it's not, you know, it's not okay, then maybe it's okay.
All right.
So, yeah.
So if it says a resolution passed, 12 opposed, this was the dissenting opinion, then everyone who opposed may be associated with that dissenting opinion, whether they agree with it or not. I don't know if the language says that the 5 members in support must sign.
There must be a minimum of 5 in support of the dissent. So if you're not in support of the dissenting report, then you're not part of it.
A point of clarification, Maury, it is a minimum of 10 in support.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interject, but just point of clarification on Steve's question from before. So Raphael and I both have that Maury seconded the original motion. You did. So unless someone...
You don't have a motion on the table.
Right.
That's why I said, all right, I put it back just...
Thank Thank you, Steve.
Riley, do you have a?
Just one more point of clarification. Does number 5 say that the dissenting opinion will always be distributed with the resolution, or is that up to discretion? Can a chair say, I'm not sending the dissenting opinion, I'm just sending the passed resolution?
Your question is, does it get sent out or not?
It says the dissenting opinion is sent through the office along with the board passed resolution. Is it must always be sent? So any future chair can say, I don't want to send any dissenting opinions on the letters.
Should we leave that vague? Steve. Steve, then Michelle, and then I'm going to call the question.
We have done everything we can to try to make this palatable. We've weakened it, we've stretched it out. We've actually even had one of the people who helped draft it say we deliberately made it vague. You can't make something vague. Just as an example, there's nothing in there that prevents somebody who voted for the motion from signing the dissent, okay? And, you know, let's stop it. We have verbatim minutes. We don't just have summary minutes. If people want to find out the discussion, they can find out the discussion. More importantly, I can't tell you how many times over the last 40-odd years I have voted for a motion because of the amendments to the motion, because they made it palatable. That is what's called a consensus. We do it. Congress doesn't do that anymore, but we still do it. Okay? And Anatole and I can disagree on the main thing, but if enough goes into it, that if they're going to give us additional parks, if they're going to give us additional school seats, we may vote for something. That is what we do as a community board. And our opinion, which is the only opinion of the community board, states our reasons. Dissent during the conversation, seek to add your dissent to the conversation so it will be included in the opinion of the community board.
Michelle?
So I have a clarifying question, and I wonder if it's going to open up some other questions, but is this solely for like board decisions, like board at-large votes, or is this also committee? Because to Maury's point, knowing the dissent of a committee that you weren't in the committee meeting for could be helpful when we're making that at-large decision. So I thought that was a good point.
I'd like to propose an amendment that this only be applied for full board votes. Carlos?
Then I don't want.
Okay. And I'd like to, sorry, Secretary, did you have a question? Okay. Oh, and Bill has a question. Let's let Bill go. And
I was just going to say, I wanted to accept all amendments, but I feel like it was getting. No one, not after any amendment did anyone agree with the amendment that was made. So I think we should just vote on what is on the floor now.
Let
Call the
Carlos,
question.
sorry, let Bill go, and then.
And then I will reread what is on the floor.
Yes. Where is Bill? Ask to unmute. Oh, you're unmuted.
Yes.
Go ahead, Bill.
Thank you. Really just a comment. I just wanted to say this is a terrific debate, and I think this vote that we're about to take itself is kind of illustrative of why it would add value to have a dissenting opinion. Because if some other community boards, down the line want to consider adopting this into their bylaws, it would add value for them to see this great debate we're all having, and I just wanted to say the Supreme Court issues dissenting opinions, and the court, like any democratic body, like a community board, is not supposed to be unanimous. It's okay to disagree, and I think that it only shows that reasonable minds can disagree on difficult questions. So I think it adds transparency and enriches the discourse ultimately. Thank you.
Christine, final comment.
Hi. I also want to say I think our primary the primary function of who we're advising is actually our council member, especially with regard to ULURP decisions. And I think it's important for the council member to understand and appreciate all the voices of the community and not to sort of, and to thereby render a more nuanced decision and approach their job in a more nuanced way. So I think there's a value to imparting a more nuanced view of the issue.
Okay, let me just reread what is currently on the floor. And yes, so it is the paper in front of you, with the only changes being instead of 5 members at number 2, 10 members in support of the dissenting opinion. And this will only be involved in full board resolutions involving the full board. And there may only be 1 dissenting opinion. And number 3 has been struck.
Point of information, if someone wants to file a dissenting opinion, will they be getting all the email addresses of the board members so they can contact them for the support? Because I know we've been keeping it private, and we don't circulate this, but if I choose to write a dissenting opinion, I'm going to want the names and contact information of all board members who I might be able to convince to sign on. So how are you dealing with that?
So for folks on the internet, Steve's question was how do folks with who dissent connect with each other if we are not sharing their personal contact information from the office, in which I would say it would be up to it would be their prerogative and up to their discretion how they get in touch with folks or not. Rather than have the office sharing contact information.
So in the same way that members of the general public track us, like people tally who voted yes and who voted no for things. So yeah, it's true. So for dissenting opinion, sort of to Riley's point of, if there's only a smaller faction of folks who voted no, but they want to submit an opinion, and then there's other folks who voted no that don't want to be part of that opinion, then shouldn't they be named then? Whoa. On the dissenting opinion? No.
Because they're not participating as part of the.
No, I mean the folks who are part of the dissenting opinion, shouldn't they be then named as these are the folks that got together and wrote this opinion? That'll be part of it. So we'll see names of people. The same way that they can track names of everyone who voted yes for something. Right.
People who voted yes are still allowed to sign to set the opinion according to that half page that you put up there.
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't say they can't. So if you're going to do it, say you must have voted no to sign to set the opinion.
Right.
You can't make it vague because vague things don't work.
Quick question.
Oh, move to table? Yeah.
Move to table does not require anything but a second, and there has to be voted.
Yep. Oh, Roz, would you or are you? No. No. I did not, Carlos. I did not hear that.
Probably because he didn't have the mic.
I did call the question. And then the other people kept talking. Last time I spoke.
Actually, that does proceed.
Okay.
Only the question requires a second, just as motion.
Because that's what you were explaining, what the motion was. That's why that. Yeah.
I heard no second.
So it was never seconded, so then does that go to the...
So the motion to table is now on the floor.
So now the motion to table...
Motion to table is on the floor. So, motion to table for new members means We won't vote on it. Not tonight.
Sorry, just a point of verification. So then the bylaws would go into effect because you already voted.
The bylaws would go into effect, and we would have to bring up the dissenting opinion at a later time.
Would you please, we can't discuss anything now, but would you please inform all the members that if they vote to oppose the table, they need to continue with what we're doing?
Yes, so we will have a vote to table it, and if you choose to oppose tabling, that means you choose to continue discussing Carlos's resolution with amendments. So the vote to table.
Tabling is the show. The same thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. So show of hands. Yes means we will not be discussing this further, and this will be tabled until at least September. Yes means we will table this and not discuss it further this evening, and maybe discuss it in September. Those in favor, do you want to do this?
Sure. All those in favor of tabling, vote yes by raising your hand now. Okay, so in the room we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 in the room. How many do we have online? Online folks, please either put up your Zoom hand or put up your hand in the camera, your physical hand in the camera, so Anatol can count you. We have 13 in the room to table. Okay, so the motion does not carry then, because we have 40 folks.
I move to call the question, that was the motion.
Okay. Steve called the question, Carlos seconded.
We can also take no votes on the motion to table it. That's what you're asking for.
Oh.
I just did math, but yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Point of information, is yes mean you're in favor and no mean you're not in favor? Sorry, need to clarify.
So.
I think we should put that in the amendment.
So calling.
Sorry, we share a committee that always is no is yes, so that's why I'm asking.
So the question was called and seconded to approve the language as laid out, with the adjustments being there must be a minimum of 10 in support of the dissenting opinion. There must only be one dissenting opinion. Item number 3 is struck, and dissenting opinions may only apply to full board resolutions. So that is the question.
Point of information.
At hand.
Point of information.
Michael, do you have a point of information as well?
Because the language that's been flashing on the screen doesn't appear to be consistent with what you've just shared. For example, it doesn't have this requirement that there only be one dissenting opinion, and there is a section. So I would just want to know what we're voting on, if it's the language on the screen or not.
I say there can only be one. One dissenting.
Can I have your laptop? Sorry, let me match what is being shared with what I've written down.
Thank you.
It says editing a PDF. All good?
Yes. It applies to full board. Yeah, Michael, I'm not seeing what your question is, or I'm not.
Well, there must only be one dissenting opinion. We just add it. The third point though is that in the motion or not? this submitted within 7 days?
Yes, excuse me, I misspoke. I was referring to the original printout that folks had, have in front of them in person. So, yes, this item, number 3 that we see on the screen is the dissenting opinion must be submitted to the board and chairperson within 7 days of being announced. That is what we are voting on as well.
Thank you.
Camille, you have a question? Voting on this, yes, would make it a part of the bylaws we just voted on. Camille, do you have a question?
Yes. So if we don't support this, is there no dissension allowed?
A no vote is allowed.
No, if we vote no on this, does that mean there won't be this dissent component as part of the new bylaws?
Yes, as part as, yes, if we as a body vote no on this, or if you individually vote no on this, then this language will not be included in the new bylaws today. Yes. Try the veal. I see no other question, point of information.
Okay, so Carlos called to question. Who seconded? Steve seconded.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we will start with Amparo Abelbay. No. Okay. Nellie Afshar. No. Melissa Aguirre. No. Cheryl Apicella. Yep. Okay, Anatol Ashraf.
No.
Cheryl Apicella will come back to you right now if you're unmuted. Is she unmuted? If not, we can come back. No. All right, we'll come back. John Bahia. Okay. Carisha Batan. Okay. Nick Berkowitz is not here. Danielle Brecker. Okay. Isabella Bustamante. Yeah. Carlos Castel-Croak. Evelyn Chango. Okay. Lisa Charles.
I think people, for some reason, I can unmute, but a lot of people can't unmute online. I don't know if folks can.
Okay.
No.
Okay, Lisa, you just voted no? Thank you. Osman Chowdhury? No. Steve Cooper? Kevin Davis? Warren Davis? Maury Gallinoy? Noted. There's the context. Dr. Roz Janutzos? Alexandra Gonzalez, if you are unmuted online.
No.
No. Yeah. Camille Gray, if you are unmuted.
No, I supported the dissent, but I don't support the 10-person threshold. I think that barrier is ridiculous.
Okay, so you voted no.
Correct.
Kenny Greenberg. Yep. Leo Gutman. Yep. Corey Hannigan. Online? No. Yep. Michelle D. Hernandez. Yes. Mohammed Hossein. Online?
Yes.
Okay, I heard that as yes, so unless I'm corrected, because I didn't quite hear it, but I think that was yes. Christine Hunter. Okay. William Jourdain is not here. Pramit Kumar not here. Bradford Laban.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Patrick Martinez.
Yes.
Okay. Bill Murray.
Yes.
Okay. Eric Narberg.
Yes.
Okay. Mario Nani. Yeah. Riley Owens. Yeah. Rafael Perez. Randy Plumell, not here. Pia Rahman. Zakira Rahman. Melissa Sawicki, not here. Ryan Smith is me. I vote no. Lauren Springer. Amaris Valdez. No. Elena Van Sluten, online.
No.
Letitia Vasquez, not here. Zev Weinberg is not here. And Michael Zurab.
No.
Okay, so coming back one more time to Cheryl Apicella.
Online? No.
No. All right, so the motion does not carry.
Cool, thanks everyone. Try the veal.
Thank you, Patrick. That was fun. I mean, that's what this is all about. I just want to, reframe that. I think neither no or yes was from a bad place, right? I think this was not opposed coming from a bad place. We just, had good intentions from both sides. All right. I think in the interest of time, I want to pass it to committees that have something to share. Otherwise, if it's just, announcing the next meeting, we can, it's written down. So, land use, is Tanya here?
Yes, I'm here, Anatol. I'm commuting, that's why my camera's off. So the Land Use and Housing Committee met on May 20th and received a presentation from Christine Hunter regarding Manhattan Community Board 5 proposed zoning text amendments to expand access to public bathrooms through zoning incentives and public-private partnerships. The committee members discussed potential approaches, including integrated restroom requirements or incentives into the POPs, the privately owned public spaces, and agreed to continue monitoring the initiative, seek additional expertise on the POPs, and coordinate with the board's Health and Human Services Committee. The committee also reviewed written updates from the Department of City Planning, including the status of the Hunters Point HPD parcels and several upcoming land use applications. Department of City Planning indicated that 50-02 Queens Boulevard may certify in early June. 4417 Greenpoint Avenue may certify in mid-June. And 50-01 Queens Boulevard is likely to certify during the summer recess, with reviews timelines exceeding into the fall. Also, the committee received a briefing from our new member, Bill Murray, on proposed city council reforms intended to facilitate housing development on small lots, including potential building code changes, such as single-stair egress reforms, and discuss how these proposals align with broader housing production goals while complementing prior board positions on housing policies. And lastly, the committee also continued discussing regarding long-term capacity building through the exploration of planning consultants and academic partnership. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Health and Human Services. Did you have an update? Okay, then the next meeting is on June 8th. Awesome, thanks. Carisha? Arts and Culture?
Hello. Okay, so last month's Arts and Culture Committee, and Eric, please fill me in if I missed anything. We had one of the DCLA officers, Andy Castillo, come in and talk to us about the Create in Place program. explaining the different services that that department in DCLA does, which is essentially a fairly new department. They do case-by-case support with different arts and cultural organizations. One of their biggest cases that they're working on, for example, was the fire that the Red Hook Studios experienced. So they're essentially a place where they are pointing arts and cultural organizations to different resources throughout the city and within other city agencies. So that was great to learn more about that. And then we also had a local artist. Eric, do you want to talk about the local artist that came and talked to us, a committee?
Yeah, sure. The artist's name was Shoshana Karapetyan, and she's a Sunnyside-based artist, and she had an exhibit at local cafe, and so she was a part of the Jane's Walk that I did at the beginning of May, and so through virtue of that, I was able to connect with her and invite her to committee. And just to note that we're looking to do more of that in terms of connecting with local artists and then being able to promote their exhibitions through our social media and through our website, which Raphael helped us set up so that we can update that going forward. But that's just an example of how we hope to do that.
And then since this is the last month of committee before we recess for the summer, I just wanted to announce we are going to try and have QPTV come to our last meeting, talking about some recent policy that's on the table about saving public access television, as well as potentially a discussion in coordination with Land Use Committee about the Bliss Theater project, which is set to certify, as DCP said, on June 15th. There is a lot of concern and discussion about what degree of community give back in terms of arts cultural space that project would be providing with that project. So more on that later.
City services.
Sorry. Okay, a couple things. I'll start with farther away. So at our next meeting, we will have the SLA, that's the State Liquor Authority, coming to talk to us and explain why their decisions are not always aligned with our recommendations and that they don't tell us that. So that's among many other questions. And mark your calendars for September. I'm saying this now because the board meeting will be after the city service meeting. It will be the Wednesday before the board meeting. OCM, Office of Cannabis Management, we hope to have them at our meeting. They are really hard to get. So if you have questions, communicate with me the way you communicate with me and we'll make sure to ask them, or you can come to the meeting. Our next meeting is next Wednesday at 6:30. And then one last thing. We got Senator Generis's office sent Raphael and called me with a bunch of information about the World Cup. Some of it is small business related, some of it is just what's happening. I'll tell you two highlights. There is a sanctioned bar in Long Island City for FIFA watching. And then also the big fan interaction will be in Forest Hills at the USTA, or not Forest Hills, sorry, at the US Tennis Center. So that we're hoping that's gonna generate some business off the 7 train in our district. And I can just tell you from the last 3-4 months of reviewing liquor license, these bar owners are really counting on FIFA, on the Knicks, and eventually FIFA, to really help their business. So please, if you're watching a basketball game or you're watching a soccer match, please head out to your local establishment and support them because they're really hurting. Thank you.
Pig Beach had a line down 3 or 4 blocks last night, but that's CB1, so we need that in CB2.
I pushed for it to be in CB1 or CB2, and I mean, it makes sense for it to be where it is.
Small business?
Small Business and Local Economy Committee meeting will be meeting on the 23rd of June. We had no meeting this month. And can I just say that tonight's meeting and our discussion on the Article 20 or whatever it was, 30, what was it? It's over. Well, can I just say that was a
Until
great...
it goes back. It
can
come back.
It can come back next September, but was a great opportunity for especially our new members and existing members to engage in parliamentary procedure.
Yeah, great learning opportunity. Engagement and inclusion, LIC Springs. Is there, yeah, go ahead. Oh, no. Yeah, Lisa, did we have an update from Engagement Committee? And if not, the next meeting is on June 23rd.
Wait, I have something about the
yeah, go ahead.
the tech subcommittee, just want to just mention a few things. So I was working with Pursuit.org, which is a nonprofit that's within the district. So they started doing a hackathon, and I mentioned this before. I helped them out with their first hackathon that they did about 2 months ago. So I was the judge for that hackathon, along with some of the staff members. And for the second hackathon, I was able to get someone from HP to come and participate. And now at this point, the last hackathon they just had a few days ago, they have somebody else that they brought in themselves. So I think at this point it's self-sustaining. And what we're trying to do now is open it up to the public as well. So we're working on that because they do have a lot of members. But I encourage anyone here, if you want to participate, if you want to help out, please reach out to Pursuit so you can be one of the judges for the hackathon. I think it's pretty interesting, and it's pretty nice to see what people are building. And these are people from within our district. The other thing I just want to mention is that we had someone his name is Brian Somar. So he's from the New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services. So he's part of the Cyber Incident Response Team. So he came into the last meeting and he did a presentation about 5 easy tips that you can do to safeguard your phones and your devices to protect yourself against cyber attacks. That's a presentation that I would encourage everyone here to take a look at. If you can pass it on, calling Brad, if you can pass it on to all the board members. And last thing I just want to mention is OTI, New York City OTI. I want them to come to the next meeting. If not, in June, I know it's a little close, but September or October, if they could come in, I would love for any one of you guys to help me out with that.
Office of Technology and Innovation.
Yeah. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Carlos?
Briefly, we had a presentation from the Hunters Point Park Conservancy about parcels in LIC that I think Rob came to the full board meeting and talked about. And then Isabella came to our meeting and talked about a park in Court Square that there's some dogs that are going where they shouldn't be going in the park. So we're going to talk to the Parks Department about anything we can do about that. So if anyone else has that problem, feel free to let me know and we'll add your voice to the communication. Yeah. Dogs, yes.
Oh, and just to add, there's a ribbon cutting on June 15th for that. Yeah.
Ribbon cutting, June 15th for Court Square.
Woohoo!
Ribbon cutting for Lieutenant Michael Davison on the 18th.
Yes.
10 a.m.
Yep. Oh, amazing.
There's a lot of parks. That's what we do here.
And we need more parks. Last but not least, Riley.
Transportation met on Tuesday, 2 days ago. We had a couple of presentations from DOT. The first is on e-bike battery charging cabinets, which was a pilot program last year. They're now expanding through Manhattan and parts outside of Manhattan where e-bike delivery bicyclists typically go. So a couple of sites in Long Island City they're looking at, 44th Drive and Jackson Avenue and 11th Street and 46th Road. These are cabinets with swappable batteries inside them. They're fireproof cabinets. So an e-bike rider, instead of bringing a battery into their home, they can leave it in their bike, wherever they leave their bike, and then just swap those batteries throughout the day as the batteries run down. So it's supposed to lick a couple of tough problems, especially the lithium battery fires, and delivery, I guess any e-bike rider using batteries that are not UL certified. So that program is open for comments. The website's weird, so if you just do a search for New York City DOT e-bike programs, it'll bring you to the portal to leave comments and for places for these battery charging cabinets. There was also a second presentation from DOT. At Hunters Point South, we had heard from people living there that parking has been very, very confusing. They're getting ticketed because the signage is not correct. So DOT is going to fix that area. Center Boulevard, 2nd Street, 57th Avenue, 54th Avenue. Essentially, there's 2 travel lanes, but people have been parking in one of them because the signage was not clear and they started getting ticketed. So now it's going to be 1 travel lane and 2 parking lanes. It'll be metered parking, a mix of 2-hour and 12-hour parking, and they are going to make the turns clear to make infrastructure that makes sure nobody can actually park in the corners so that trucks and buses can actually make the turns. So they're trying to solve a lot of problems down there. They are speaking to stakeholders because there's a public school down there, but they want to move forward with it as soon as they can. And DOT confirmed to us that they are not doing business with green asphalt this year. Always in the wintertime, they tell us that it's not asphalt season, so I can't tell you if we do business, but they have said that they are not doing business. They don't have a contract with them this year. That's it. Roz.
If you, looking at the calendar, transportation is scheduled to meet on September 1st, before Labor Day, which is September 7th. Would you be open to shifting to September 8th?
Sure.
And there are no other committees meeting on that day? I'd encourage you to do that.
Yeah, I'll talk to Raphael and see what works
Get Raphael's
best.
permission.
That's a conflict with arts and culture, but let's figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I can't confirm, but I'd like to meet after Labor Day.
Yeah. All right.
Just one more quick add-on. DOT is going to do something right outside of our district. They are adding a dedicated bus lane on
Jackson
Broadway between 69th Street and Roosevelt, which is right near the entrance to the 278 Expressway. This is to improve the Q70 bus service to LaGuardia. Our neighbors in Community Board 3 have raised some alarm that it's going to create a lot of car traffic. Just keep an eye out. DOT typically does a pretty good job of not creating more car traffic in these projects. They've studied it. So I'm not worried, but if we're seeing a lot of that happening, this is in advance of the World Cup. So it should happen soon. But yeah, it is outside of our district, but if it affects traffic in Woodside, please let the office know.
If we can move people to the World Cup in LaGuardia easier. Motion to adjourn. Question is?
I just wanted to see, because we normally don't receive updates about agendas for the Budget Committee or the Executive Committee, but given that over the summer you're going to be deliberating on the district needs survey and the district manager search, whether that might be possible so members of the board who want to sit in on those conversations can do so.
The budget process, absolutely. The hiring process will update. Because the hiring process should
not in like interviewing. I mean like when the executive committee is talking about.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, absolutely. We just haven't we hadn't met the last couple of times, but yeah, we'll absolutely keep you updated. All right. All in favor of adjourning? Any abstentions? Any opposed? All right. Great summer. June 10th is, next Wednesday, is the City Hall testimony for all the City Hall committees. And yeah, meet